Okay, so let's go through ours one by one, starting with 1 inch. Now, 1 inch today, this is 3 day scale, so that's why it's a red candle today. 1 day scale is green, but I would like to keep it at 3 day scale because then it'll show 1 week is, I think, 3 days. Good, yeah. Right, so I think like Bitcoin, this is also close to the low, right? And it has to go to three, at least three, like what we said for BTC, it has to go to 37K, similar to that. The Aave is not going to do anything different. It was really good last couple of weeks, but now it is under pressure with BTC. ADA is also losing. It was holding up pretty well, but in this week it's really losing now. The same story. If now you can clearly see that this is, if you draw a line from this one, it's just going in this descending trend line, right? We are going to see a lot of coin in similar situation now. Algo got the previous support, so it is back and retesting. So this the last deeper one was this support, and now this was a previous support. As I said, I think in last session, that these were the supports given earlier when it was here, when BTC was near S4. That's where the supports were given, and I didn't change it because then supports were broken, and when the bounce was never good enough for me to changing support was of no use. So to me, then the recent low would be the support, and my plan is to change the support only when it goes up, because for now the recent low, if anyone who is holding the recent low may hold again up to the recent low, or depends, could start reducing in increment, as I explained. It depends, but the point is, I think the alts low doesn't matter. They are not free in terms of the percentage or in terms of price level. To me, it's all BTC, so the supports are not so important. I think the BTC support is the most important in current state, so I'm not changing for that reason. Also, support for alt was never so important to me, and I think I explained that in approach A. If there is a video for approach A, and um, the method that we there are two ways to add a support. People think from uh, definite price point of view, but that's not the right technique. I'm talking about support, but with respect to stop loss. So there are two aspects. One is supports are not stop loss. Okay, first of all, support could be stop loss if you want to, but to me, the right way to do is the stop loss must be based on your situation, and that is totally driven by amount of loss you're willing to take. Okay, so that is a technique called money stop. You can read about it, but it's nothing different than what I explained under approach A. Basically, it's common sense. It says my stop loss is where that's my limit, because that's the meaning. That if you take the literal meaning, that's what it says. Where you want to stop your loss is your stop loss. As simple as that. So supports where it reacts, so it can be used as stop loss. But if the support is deep and your loss is too much, then support may not be your stop loss. That's my point. If the support is well within your tolerance level, then it can be used, but otherwise it's not. So that's why the supports are not tailor made, because it's should the supports are from chart point of view, and the stop loss is your risk tolerance point of view. So I think if you get this, you got all. Supports are based on chart and trend, where stop loss is based on your situation. It's not about chart. At support, you expect it to react. That's it. But one should not mix up with support and stop loss unless support is at your tolerance level. Then it's all right. So this is very important point to be noted. Anyway, so Atom was holding up pretty well, but now under pressure. Band is now heading down, so losing value. BNB is holding up well. So this coin, as I mentioned last time also, it is not coming under pressure. It is not going to, it's not giving any opportunity, but at the same time, it's excellent in retaining the value. It is even better than BTC in terms of retaining value, which is not so often you see, right? So this is less volatile than BTC, which is not which is rare in many ways. You don't see this often. BTC we already saw. BZRX is nothing great at this moment. It's on the support. CELR is also on support. I mean, when I say support, means the previous low is a support. So that point of view, the earlier support was broken above. The same support, earlier support acted as resistance. You see the same thing that you see with BTC. Now it got, so I didn't bother to give another support, as I said, because they are driven by BTC at this moment. Doge also losing value, and now it is coming back to, now this is this is getting bad in a way. This is like descending triangle. Huh, this is ominous. This is not good, but there's one thing, it has to touch one more time in my opinion, but this is forming a descending triangle. So it could come down to here and goes little up, and if it returns back, then it's gone. So to me, it might get one chance from here. One, not second, from whatever I have seen so far. Then you could think about really go, like it could go really deeper, really deeper. That's Doge. And it's following this downtrend line, you see. Dot is also, so dot has made new low. That's bad. EGLD at least not made new low, right? It is under pressure like any other coin. ETH is also not bad, little above the previous support. It's also holding up well. FIL is close to the previous low, again moving downside. FTM is again close, as I said, rejected by the previous support. They are going, many coins are looking alike, no different. GRT is also approaching the support. So BTC is highly volatile. You see, it's, my goodness, this is like the seller really putting a lot of pressure here. They're not letting it go. I see so many attempts. There are not enough buyers. HNT is not bad. It's relatively it's closer. I mean it's higher low, so that's good thing compared to when it's pretty. I mean holding up well. This is really moving on a sideway, but so far so good. So like BNB, I would say. Look at ICP, amazing bounce it had, and then keep. This was the low I was talking about earlier, and then just losing it all the way. So this is like erasing all the gain. It is so disappointing to see when you get this one, I think, and then seeing this. Disappointing. What can we do? Yeah. Um, Similar to this is at least trying to move away. Today it's really looking good, so it's trying to move away from the low, which is good. IOTA. KAVA in a good position. It's much like this is much higher than many other coin from the low, which is a really good news. It tried to break above the this interim resistance a couple of times, multiple times in fact. So showing some strength there. KCS also showing the strength. It broke about the resistance, landed here, got a bounce, but then came under pressure. Still, it's in much better position than most of the coins. In fact, this is one of the strongest one. KSM is not looking good because it's again getting close to the low. Link actually very close, so this is one of the weakest one. I talked about Link that those Link's glory is lost somewhere, as if like this is like a forgotten. This is like ruin kind of a thing. I'm not saying the coin is bad. Don't misunderstand me. What I mean is the kind of movement, and it used to diverge from Bitcoin, and that kind of thing is no longer there. So it is even doing worst or than other alts. Earlier it used to do better than BTC. So I'm talking about that time that is lost. That is, yeah. That's a bad thing. I used to cover Link a lot, and then I just lost interest. I don't talk about Link a lot. LTC, one of, yeah, this is also weak, not able to break up the previous support. You see, very weak at this moment. Matic is also, look at that. The Matic did very different thing. Matic was not going down and then try to rise when everybody was going down. Very like this was like as if the artificial pump, as if because this was like diverging, totally different move. All the coins were down on this, and then it went up, and then it just lost everything. So whatever bounce it had is just losing, and now it is at new low. So if you think from a longer horizon point of view, some coins were hit hard earlier, but they are now able to manage. This coin did amazing job, totally different, and now it is beaten up. So in the longer run, they're like more or less the same. Maker, nothing so different. NKN is also struggling to recover the previous support. OGN had a few good move. It was very close to the resistance, almost hit it and then came down, and then this was also good bounce. Very volatile, but as you could see, even on 3D. This is also very funny. RLC, it touched this R1 almost. It missed by 3%, I think. But yeah, very it was very close. And now look at this. Totally it lost everything. So the whole 43, 45% gain, it just lost it and now returned to the support level. Yeah, SKL, I think it's also near the support. Not so there were a couple of try to break above the previous resistance, but it failed. Especially in last 3 days, it's looking bad. Otherwise, it was really trying to break above. It looks bad. Yeah, especially today. SOL was holding up pretty well, but today, I mean, last 3 days, not looking good. It's also approaching the low, a previous support. Same. SRM is also close to the support. So she is doing something different today. It's trying to climb up after very being very close to the lowest support. I'm not worried about percentage because these coins are so crazy that if you cannot judge by the percentage. This coin, like for an example, went up by 80-90% in 3 days. 3 day candle. 80-90%. So if this has to, let's say, continue, and if it does something like this 80-90%, it will change everything. And if it comes back to this level, so point is, this kind of coins have that this ability, like in general alts, and especially some of them, they you cannot judge by their percentage because they are so aggressive in both ways, on upside and the downside. So it could change the scenario overnight. Here Dell also was really looking good, but then progressively I mean, incrementally it was just making new low, but it's still above this May 19th low. It failed to break above this level. You see, theta is weak, so it tried to retain its level here, but then it broke below. Now it's looking for this one, but this can change the direction as soon as BTC goes up. Otherwise, yeah, these are like they went up so much, especially this coin went up so much. The downside is also very much, um I mean, the it could really also go down deeper. This was like, yeah, if BTC breaks below this level we talked about, then this could also go down much deeper. But anyone who is able to manage the risk will be able to get with more position. Remember that if somebody is not acting, is going to really hold those coins, whatever they have, but I don't know, they'll be in real trouble in my point of view. Uni is near the support. It tried to break above this interim resistance. It had hit this one, but now returned back to the support. VET, same story near the previous support. VRA, oh, it made a new low, I think, by a little. Yeah, but it just, I think, bounced a bit because BTC bounced. Otherwise, it was going to make a new low. This coin is also went up significantly high, so it could really go down at a much lower level. Waves is in a better position, but compared to previous ones. But yeah, it's, uh, it's also close to the earlier support. Ethereum and Waves are the only two coins which are able to hold the earlier support. If I look at, otherwise all of them broke below. I think maybe a couple of more BNB. Okay, WRX is again back to this one, and following this very steep, very steep trend line. This is looking bad. Zen, really, this is on edge, really. Hmm. This is also bad, on edge. It just need trigger from BTC. If the BTC goes down, then this is going to plunge. So as I said, I think we're done. So as I said on a previous session on Bitcoin, that anyone who is able to manage risk and able to reduce will have opportunity to buy at a lower price and more positions, and then ultimately should be able to average out. If somebody is just sit back ignoring what is happening, would would be under pressure. And anyone who is also exiting in panic, assuming that it is really not going to worth, I mean, it is really going to break down before it happens. So at this moment, if somebody is assuming, that individual also going to be, I should not say going to be, but likely to be under pressure if price shoot up, right? So it's a choice. Everyone has to understand. I'm trying to cover different scenarios and cases and what potential plans for that. So if it makes sense, you may take it. Otherwise, yeah, you must have your own plan, I'm sure. All right, with that note, I think I end this session as well.